What's a cool fun fact that you know? Van Gogh killed himself 1 year after Nintendo was founded. There was no electricity in Ethiopia until the king ordered 3 electric chairs and realized he couldn't plug it in anywhere. Edit. So people in this comment thread pointed out this story is asterisk 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 and was made by some white guy probably in the 1910s or something. The article was shared by a guy below. In my defense, I heard this in a song and thought it was funny and didn't expect to be the top voted comment, so cut me some slack. That if sound could be transmitted through space, the sun would be so loud on Earth it would be the equivalent of standing next to a jet engine, even though it's 94 million miles away. Thanks for the upvotes. You've made my day. Dinosaurs existed for so long that there were still dinosaur fossils from previous eras, while other dinosaurs from future eras were alive. So basically, when T-Rex was still alive and well, Stegosaurs was nothing more than fossilized bones under their feet even back then. Edit. People don't realize just how long millions of years are. The Nazis planned to assassinate Winston Churchill with an explosive chocolate bar. If every person on Earth fought 1v1 until there was only one winner, that person would only have to win 33 times. One of the Zimbabwe's president's name was Banana. Cuttlefish can accurately match the color and texture of their environment despite the fact that they are colorblind. When they first measured the height of Mount Everest, it was exactly _29.000 feet. But as that sounds like a made-up number, they declared it to be 29.002 feet. Platypus don't have nipples. To feed their young they sweat milk. The person least related to you on the planet is your 50th cousin. Statistically speaking, you have over 1 million 8th cousins. Humans are slightly bioluminescent and have stripes that can be seen under UV light. You can fit the entire population of the human race inside the Grand Canyon. Not just the 7 billion alive now, the entire lot. From the very start. And still have plenty of room for those who are yet to be born. When Thomas Edison was bound to a wheelchair, Henry Ford bought a wheelchair for himself so that he and Edison could race. If you lined up all of the other planets in the solar system, they would fit almost perfectly between Earth and the moon. Manatees regulate buoyancy by farting. They eat a ton of plants and accumulate a lot of methane. They then release gas when they want to sink and hold it in when they want to go to the surface or are being polite. Additional info. The total number of ways you can shuffle a deck of cards is a really big number. This big to be precise. 80, 658, 175, 170, 943, 878, 571, 660, 636, 856, 403, 766, 97. 5, 289, 505, 440, 883, 277, 824, 000, 000, 000, to be exact. It's very X about a bajillion likely that any time you shuffle a deck of cards, that exact order has never existed before. Someone else on Reddit say that there exists 10 billion people on every planet, 1 billion planets in every solar system, 200 billion solar systems in every galaxy, and 500 billion galaxies in the universe. If every single person on every planet has been shuffling decks of cards completely at random at 1 million shuffles per second since the beginning of time, every possible deck combination would still yet to have been shuffled. The word set has got 430 different meanings, making it the word with the most definitions in the English language. KFC's Twitter profile follows exactly 11 accounts. 6 random people named her band the 5 members of the British pop band Spice Girls. A blue whale has a heart the same size as a small car. Sharks like and get attracted to heavy metal music played underwater. You don't use shock paddles on a stopped heart. Shock paddles simply put a heart back into a natural rhythm. They will not restart a heart if it has stopped. That's what chest compressions are for. 12 plus 1 is an anagram of 11 plus 2. The only artist to ever have 5 albums in the US top 20 at the same time is Herb Alpert in the Tijuana Brass. Mike Patton, the lead singer of Faith No More, did the vocals for The Creatures in I'm Legend. Steven Seagal once told Gene LaBelle that he was immune to being choked out from doing so much martial arts training, so Gene choked him out, and he asterisk his pants. Humans are slowly losing a muscle in our hands/forearms called the asterisk palmarislongus asterisk that doesn't, significantly, contribute functionally to grip strength or motion. If you push your pinky and thumb together, like showing the number 3, then flex your wrist in, the tendon will pop out in the middle of your wrist, if you have it. About 10% of the general population doesn't. It's basically a spare parts for hand surgeons now. If you sever a tendon, they'll harvest the palmaris longus for grafting. Edit. A 2009 study of 800 people found that 8.6% of men and 12.3% of women were only missing the palmaris longus on the right hand. The numbers nearly flip for the left, with 13% of men and 8.8% of women missing that side. There are more plastic flamingo lawn ornaments in the US than there are wild flamingos on the entire planet. A single gram of DNA contains about 700 terabytes of information. When sea otters find a rock they like to bust open clams, they will tuck it under a fold of skin in their armpit. They also hold each other's paws while they are sleeping, so they don't float away from each other. Baby otters aren't buoyant enough to stay afloat, so they will sleep on their mom's tummies until they're older. I know far too many about McDonald's. McDonald's owns the lots that every McDonald's franchise sits on and charges the franchise owner rent. This makes McDonald's the world's largest real estate developer. Thanks to Happy Meal toys, McDonald's is also the world's largest toy distributor. The Happy Meal was based on a box of cereal. Put the food in a colorful box with a free toy inside. McDonald's is the world's largest purchaser of Coca-Cola. They're so big, Coca-Cola has an entire corporate division dedicated to servicing McDonald's. A McDonald's at a ski resort in Sweden is famous for having a ski-through. It's just a fancy outdoor window that skiers can ski up to and place their order. A McDonald's in Sedona, Arizona has become famous for have turquoise arches instead of the usual golden arches. This is because a local zoning bylaw says the golden arches would clash with the red rocks. Cracking your knuckles will not lead to arthritis. Most eyes in the natural world, including yours, are wired the stupid way around, with the wiring pointing inwards, meaning you have to have a blind spot where the optic nerve leaves. There are eyes that have evolved without this problem just by being oriented sensibly, proving eyes have not only evolved many times, but also evolution isn't perfect, it's just goose walk. The litter box on the famous black door of number 10 Downing Street does absolutely nothing. There's no hole on the other side. When Germany was bombing the UK, Hitler avoided bombing the town hall of my local town because he liked the architecture and wanted the building for himself. In a game of chess, after you played your first 5 moves and your opponent played his first 5 moves, there are already like 70 trillion possible chess games that could have been played. Pufferfish contain a toxin in their spikes that kills predators. It has a slightly different effect on dolphins though, in that it gets them high. So teenage dolphins will pass around pufferfish and impale themselves off of them to get stoned. Scientists speculated there are other planets orbiting distant stars, but haven't had a clear evidence of this fact up until the 1990s. And the majority of currently known exoplanets, almost 5,000, as of now, have been discovered well into 2000s. Which means that humanity is at the very beginning of its discovery journey regarding other planetary systems. With James Webb Telescope being extremely close to finalizing its calibrations as we speak, we'll be able to not only discover hundreds, if not thousands of new planets and stars and galaxies, but also detect whether there are traces of alien civilizations on them. We should all be very excited about this, as this is unprecedented and a huge deal for science and our species as a whole. Nuclear reactors are very fancy kettles. That cows have regional moos. If you fold a regular piece of paper in half 104, from memory, times, the paper will be as thick as the entire observable universe. Moose are really good swimmers and even swim from island to island to feed on the underwater vegetation. But orcas will occasionally stumble across them and hunt them down, and moose haven't evolved far enough for them to know that orcas are predators. The T-Rex existed closer in history to humans than to the Stegosaurus. Sharks are older than trees. Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the first lunar landing than the Great Pyramids. Sorry, not just one. Every 4 years we have a leap year, unless you can divide the year by 100. However, the year can be divided by both 100 and 400. It still will be a leap year. So the year 1900 wasn't a leap year, 2000 was, and 2100 won't be. It only takes 70 people to be in a room together for there to be a 99.99% chance that 2 people share the same birthday. 16 deg point C and 28 deg point C reversed are equal to their Fahrenheit value. So, 2 16 is 61F and 28 is 82F. Tumors can grow miniature organs, hair and teeth, and are referred to as teratomas. Just learned that barnacles have the largest penises in the animal kingdom, if you compare it to its size. Atmosphere of Mars is more than 95% carbon dioxide and less than 1% oxygen. Inhabiting Mars permanently other than research for humans is not an easy task. If big mammals like the blue whale could develop gene mutations like cancer just like a human, the tumor would need to get as big as a small car to do any harm to the whale. There is a plant called the California corn lily that contains a drug called cyclopamine. When animals eat it while pregnant, it can cause cyclopia, one eye. It inhibits a signaling pathway called the Sonic Hedgehog pathway. Yes, this pathway was actually named after the video game. Because people will think I'm making this up. Fuzzy caterpillars turn to moths. Smooth ones turn to butterflies. There are some exceptions to this rule. In the earlier stages of the universe, the sky used to be orange, but it has slowly red-shifted into infrared which we can't see. Apparently turtles breathe from their booty. Marlon Brando popularized wearing a t-shirt casually. Bee testicles explode when they bust a nut. Otters are necrophilic rapists, even worse than dolphins. We put a man on the moon before we thought to put wheels on a suitcase. The lighter was invented before matches were. Hippopotamus milk is pink. Saudi Arabia imports their camels from Australia. From the time it was discovered to the time it was stripped of its status as a planet, Pluto had not yet made one trip around the sun. Nintendo was founded in 1889. The speed of thought is about 100 m/s. Apparently in the early 1960s, a lounge singer named Vaughn Meader suddenly found himself extremely lucky. He sort of looked like newly elected President John F. Kennedy, and he could imitate him fairly well too. He used this to perfect an impersonation comedy act of Kennedy, which got him a deal for a comedy album. He and a few others released The First Family. The First Family was a smash. Nearly everyone in America owned this album. It was part of nearly every home, like a fridge or a TV. People couldn't get enough. It wasn't edgy or even insulting. It was just comedians doing parody of the Kennedy family and people ate it up. Even Kennedy loved it. In a sense, it was groundbreaking, in that no other US president was lampooned in such a way before. In fact, Richard Nixon refused to buy it because he felt it crossed a line of respect towards presidents. Von Meader became one of the most well-known celebrities in America in the blink of an eye. A second album was in the works. Then Kennedy was shot. The second album scrapped. Meader couldn't find work, lost all of his money, became an addict, and I think he ended up owning a bar somewhere. A true rise and fall tale. The sky you see at night with all the stars isn't the real-time image. As these stars are light years away, light from them takes years to reach to Earth. Some of the stars you see in the sky might not even be there now. Blows my mind every time I think about it. A female cat can have kittens fathered by multiple males at once. That's part of the reason why a male cat's stuff has spines on it that flip up when the male makes the pulling out motion. When up, the spines scrape the inside of the female so that the male cat can both dig deeper crevasses for sperm to settle in, and so he can pull out any other male cat's sperm as a way for him to be sure that his kittens will be part of the litter. Aboriginals don't have a word for left or right, they orientate by using cardinal directions. For everything. Like, use the northern chair. You got a droplet on your east mouth. Edit, got it out of this TED talk. Some other really interesting stuff in there. Edit 2, namas pulling. Female dolphins are hoes, because male dolphins are cannibals. To prevent their children from being eaten, females allow themselves to be asterisk by every male, as they can't distinguish their own offspring from others. There are more planes in the ocean than submarines in the sky. The difference between million and billion is more than we think. Your nose is impacting your vision 100% of the time. However, since your picture you see is just an interpretation by your brain erases your nose as useless information. You'll only see it if you really concentrate on it, if you close one eye, or if you put your finger on the very tip of your nose. It seems like a harmless fact until this thought enters your head. Your nose is real. Your brain removes it from your vision as useless, but it is very much there, and very much real. What other things is your brain removing from your vision? It's wild to think that your entire life experience is just your brain doing its best to interpret your senses. And that it's definitely not a perfect system. It could be interpreting everything incorrectly, and we collectively wouldn't have any idea. This keeps popping up. Genghis Khan has over 16 million male descendants. Wombats poop as cubicle. The Germans captured the Norwegian whaling fleet in Antarctica in WWII with the raider penguin. There are almost 8 billion people on Earth. There are 56 billion nematodes on Earth for every human on Earth. Head, shoulders, nematodes. One horse has about 15 horsepower, while a human has about 1 horsepower. You can fit 1.3 million Earths inside the sun. Hippos, though appearing cute, fat and cuddly, can reach speeds of 48 km/h and kill at least 500 people a year. Cigarettes are like squirrels, they're perfectly harmless until you put one in your mouth and set it on fire. The human body is 99% empty space due to the space between atoms. Babies are able to survive longer underwater than adults/kids. It **** insane how long they survive. Because babies have a reflex to not breath underwater. Drowning ISN ***T oxygen deprivation. It ***water filling up the lungs. Warren G is Dr. Dre's cousin. Bre first heard Snoop Dogg on a demo that Warren G had made for him. Also, Hall of Fame NFL wide receiver Art Monk is related to legendary jazz musician Thelonious Monk. Edit. I'm wrong. Warren G and Ray are stepbrothers. Thanks you /lucidlum26. People who celebrate more birthdays of their own tend to live longer. Flex any muscle in your body for 1 minute to get rid of an erection.